Providence, one of the candidates is withdrawn from the race. We have that story in a moment. Some high school student athletes in Rhode Island may have to pay a whole lot more for insurance if they want to play sports this year. Route 2 in Warwick is reopened ahead of schedule this morning. Crews are working, of course, to complete that bridge project. We have the full story on that in a moment. This is our live camera on the scene. As you can see, some traffic is getting through. All right, let's get this Friday morning underway. For those of you who have just joined us, welcome. Where you been? We've been on an hour already on television here, but we're glad you're with us now. Molly O'Brien has the traffic in a moment. Kelly Bates has a weather forecast. Then I'll bring you the news Barbara Moore Silva has today off. Let's start with you, Kelly. Talk about this drizzle and other stuff.
All right, good plan, Frank. We have temperatures that are in the 60s to start. 64 in Providence, 65 for Newport and Westerly, with 63 currently in the New Bedford area. We're matching that in Taunton, and we do have some scattered showers that are moving through southern New England. Now, we're looking at a good deal of clouds today, but these showers are not expected to be a consistent feature. In fact, once we get past 10 o'clock this morning, we're looking at a mostly cloudy to cloudy sky with just a slight chance of showers to finish the day. So what's going on now is mainly just an early morning deal. Our showers are moving steadily from west to east, and then we're going to turn our attention to the north. Our next weather maker is an area of high pressure that will be sagging down from Canada as we go into the weekend. So again, we're looking at showers, sure, in place till about 10. After that, we're going to go cloudy to mostly cloudy with a chance of an isolated shower to finish out the remainder of the day. So again, it's mainly a morning deal. Just leave yourself some extra time on the early morning commute. The roads are already wet out there. Now, as we go into the weekend, high pressure will begin to take charge. We're looking at a mix of sun and clouds for Saturday. Saturday should be a dry day. There is a slight chance of an afternoon pop-up shower or perhaps a thunderstorm, but we're looking at mainly dry conditions through the weekend, and the weekend will finish with one fine day on Sunday. Now to see how things are moving out on the roads. Good morning, Molly.
Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, the weather could definitely slow you down this morning. I know when I came in, I had sprinkles and then I had a straight downpour when I was making my way through Cranston. So it definitely depends on where you're at, but you are dealing with some water on the roadways. Here's 95 southbound at Lonsdale Ave, and here's that northbound side. So expect some kickback, and again, you could deal with some rain on your way to wherever you're going. Some good news for you this morning. We like construction updates that are good, don't we? Route 2 north and southbound under 95 is open for you ahead of schedule. Now, Frank is going to give you some more updates on that.
Yeah, Molly, we've got our live camera on the scene. As you can see, traffic is getting through. This is the major bridge project on Route 2 in Warwick. It has caused major detours for drivers. Crews worked overnight on the project. Route 2 has reopened ahead of schedule, but it is still a construction zone. You can see the lane restrictions are still in place, and the road crews are still on the scene. Last night, NBC 10's Brian Crandall got a look at how the bridge was put into place.
A bridge on the move. This new overpass will go from the side of the road to being in place in a matter of hours. The head of Rhode Island's Department of Transportation on site to watch the agency's first use of this technique.
Traditionally, a bridge of this size would take at least a year and a half to construct, replace, possibly 2 construction seasons to complete.
And during that time, there would have been an impact on traffic. Instead, in this project, the new Barton Corner Bridge was built on the side of Route 2 in Warwick, near where it's being installed as an I-95 North overpass over Route 2. The old bridge was demolished just 3 nights earlier. The new bridge was put up on mobile lifts, and now it's time to roll it out. Now, it's just one worker at the controls moving this entire bridge, but this is no small feat. That bridge right here is 94 feet long, 440 tons that they're going to drive into place just down the road here.
Well, lower it into place, and presto, you'll have a bridge in place.
It should be open to traffic Saturday, so less than a week from the time the old bridge was being driven on until the time the new one is in use.
Save time and ease traffic congestion.
Yeah.
Did it save money, or is it more expensive?
It's probably a wash in terms of cost. In the construction industry, time is money.
Do you expect this to be implemented a lot more often?
I think we will be seeing this more often. It's not necessary everywhere. It's often in high volume locations where there's a big impact to traffic.
It's a new section of bridge put into place around 11 o'clock last night. They closed Route 2 around 9 o'clock to start the work. Now again, this is a section of I-95 North. They've built the corresponding part of I-95 South on the other side of the highway, and they plan to move that into place at the beginning of next week. Total cost of this project, $6.4 million. I'm Brian Crandall, NBC 10 News in Warwick.
And now at 5:35 in the morning, it's time to talk about Rhode Island's favorite spectator sport, politics. One of the Democrats running for mayor of Providence has dropped out. Brett Smiley is instead throwing his support behind Jorge Elorza. And that's all according to State Representative Ray Hull, who is Smiley's co-campaign chairman. However, Smiley's name will remain on the September 9th ballot. No other details have been released, but Smiley has scheduled a news conference for 11 o'clock this morning with Elorza, but Smiley's out of the race. There are 3 other Democrats still in the race for Providence mayor now, besides Elorza: Michael Solomon, Christopher Young, Ronaldo Catone. There's 1 Republican, Daniel Harrop, and there are 2 independents, Vincent Buddy Cianci and Jeffrey Lemire. Student athletes in the Exeter West Greenwich School District are going to have to pay a lot more this year for insurance. Last night, the school committee held an emergency meeting with the parents of football players. Athletes have always had to purchase insurance for about $7 a year through Lefebvre Insurance. But this year, the rates are going way up. It will now cost $20 a year for most sports. Football players will have to pay $200 for insurance. And many other school districts around the state face similar problems. According to school committee chairwoman Terry Cicero, the Exeter West Greenwich School District is now going to have parents sign a waiver if they prove they have their own health insurance. And anyone who does not have family insurance will not be able to play. They say this is just a temporary solution. The group that owns some mansions in Newport has been cited for violating federal workplace safety codes. The Preservation Society of Newport County was cited by federal inspectors. Officials say the group exposed workers to lead-based paint and 9 other dangerous conditions. The U.S. Department of Labor's Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, has proposed a fine of about $50,000. The society members are working with OSHA to resolve the problems. The Breakers, the Elms, and Marble House are among the most visited tourist sites in New England. It does not look like the 2 sides in the Market Basket supermarket chain dispute will reach a deal by the end of the week, as first thought. Both sides had set a deadline of 5 o'clock this afternoon to reach an agreement, but the Boston Herald reports the negotiations could go well into the weekend. Both sides say they are very close to an agreement, but still have a lot of details to work out. Former CEO Arthur T. DeMoulis was fired by his cousin Arthur S. DeMoulis earlier this year, and this caused many employees to protest outside stores throughout New England. Arthur T. offered to buy the company and is currently working out the details with his cousin. The fiancée of former New England Patriots player Aaron Hernandez is expected in a Fall River court today. Shiana Jenkins is supposed to ask a judge to throw out allegations that she lied to a grand jury. Prosecutors say she lied nearly 30 times during the investigation into the murder of Odin Lloyd. Hernandez has pleaded not guilty to murder charges. Lloyd was dating Jenkins's sister. And in a moment, here on the Sunrise Show, was a much calmer scene in Ferguson, Missouri overnight. The National Guard's been sent home. We have the latest on that in a moment. 2 Americans who contracted a deadly virus are out of the hospital. That story's coming up, too, along with the event where many Rhode Islanders paid their respects to an aircraft carrier headed to the scrapyard. Time now 5:38 this Friday morning. It's time to convene another meeting of our internationally renowned Early Risers Club to welcome in Shannon Fuentes of Warren. Shannon, you're our newest member. Welcome to the club. We're glad you're on board. If you want to join the club, get your name announced on the air. Just be up early enough, have a Facebook account, and then say good morning and where you're from on the NBC 10 Facebook page. Do that, please, before 5:30 in the morning, and we'll announce your name on the air in the weeks ahead.
Closed captioning on NBC 10 is brought to you by Cardi's Furniture. Nairobi offers same-day mattress delivery 7 days a week.
National Guard troops have left Ferguson, Missouri. They were there, of course, to help with security and to protect the command center from violent protesters. There has been unrest in Ferguson since police shot and killed suspect Michael Brown on August the 9th. Every night since then, there have been protests calling for justice in Brown's death. Many of the protests have been peaceful, but some have been violent and resulted in property damage and looting. The 2 American missionaries who got infected with the Ebola virus were released from the hospital yesterday morning. Doctors say they're still weak but are no longer infected. Dr. Kent Brantley smiled as he walked into a news conference yesterday here at Emory University Hospital in Georgia. He and Nancy Wright-Bowl were the first to receive an experimental treatment. Doctors are not sure that's what cured them, but both patients are grateful to be alive and well.
Out of her isolation room, all she could say was, "To God be the glory."
What we learned in caring for them will help advance the world's understanding of how to treat Ebola virus infections.
And that was Dr. Bruce Ribner from Emory University Hospital. Doctors stress both patients are free of the Ebola virus now, and they pose no public health threat. Later today on the Today Show, the crew will interview the sons of Nancy Wright-Bowl, Jeremy and Brian Wright-Bowl. That's on the Today Show a little later this morning. Time now 17 minutes before 6 o'clock. Officials at RIPTA say they will reconsider some cancellations that have affected low-income families. A group from the Hillcrest Village apartment complex in Providence gathered yesterday to let the RIPTA people know how frustrated they are about losing this service. The service is supposed to stop at Hillcrest tomorrow, but many low-income families who live there say they don't have cars and they need the bus to get to work, the grocery store, or doctor's appointments.
A lot of people here are elderly. They also people with a power chair. Myself, I depend on the bus because that's the only way I get to my appointments. I get to go buy my food.
Because of the meeting, RIPTA officials say they'll reconsider the cancellation. This could have an effect on other stops in Providence. The new schedule will be posted online in the coming days. Hundreds of people lined the shores of Newport yesterday to say goodbye to the USS Saratoga. The aircraft carrier is now on its way to Texas, where it will be scrapped. It spent nearly 2 decades docked in Newport. The Saratoga passed under the Newport Bridge and then in front of a group of people at Fort Adams. And for many, this final farewell was like losing a loved one.
Let's face it, everybody gets old.
We're all born and we're all die. It's a cycle of life. Hopefully the steel will be used to build something that's memorable.
The ship will be dismantled at a shipyard in Brownsville, Texas. Now let's head on out to the highways and see what's happening as our morning commute begins to build, I guess a little anyway, huh, Molly?
Hey Frank, good morning. That just made me a little sad right there. What a beautiful sight, huh? Yes, as you head out the door, we're starting to see more cars out there on the highway, but still not too bad. What you are dealing with is some weather. It's slowing you down just a bit overall still. Again, not too bad as you start your Friday morning commute. So Route 24 northbound, 140 meets up. No delays so far this morning. Looks pretty good. 24 northbound continuing to 495. No delays headed southbound either. Again, shaping up to be a great Friday morning commute. 195 east and westbound through New Bedford, as well as through Fall River over the Breaker Bridge. Still traffic moving right along. Again, you still are dealing with the weather out there. Wet roads this morning over the Sakonnet River Bridge. Barely anybody out there, but again, dealing with some water on the roadways. So now we'll send it over to Kelly Bates and see how the weather will impact you through the rest of the day. Hey, Kelly.
Well, good morning, Molly. We do have a really neat scene this morning. This is the Skycam network on the Ocean House property looking back at the Ocean House. It's kind of cool. So what we're seeing out there is what we're seeing across the state. Lots of clouds. You can see the gray skies. We also have the scattered showers. Again, this is the People's Credit Union Skycam network live in Westerly, Watch Hill to be precise. We have temperatures that are in the 60s. Our dew points are in the 60s too, so it actually feels muggy, and it's also, well, occasionally we'll bring through some showers. We have 64 now in Providence, 63 for Smithfield, Taunton, and New Bedford, and 65 is what we're finding from Newport right on into Westerly, where the Ocean House is. Now, our visibilities have gone unrestricted. We were looking at some patches of fog in the Smithfield area, but that has improved, so we're happy to report that this hour. But we do have these scattered showers that are moving through the area. Now, for the most part, they're pretty light, but every once in a while we get this embedded little nugget in these showers that brings a more moderate to leaning on the heavy rainfall. We're not looking at heavy rain today, don't get me wrong. It's just a chance of a scattered shower, and some may be heavier than others. So here's the deal. We're just seeing this unsettled weather move through our region, and it's mainly a morning deal through till about 10 o'clock. That's when we have scattered showers in your forecast. After that, we're looking at a cloudy to mostly cloudy sky with a slight chance of shower to finish the day. Then our next weather maker moves in. It's actually to our north. This area of high pressure will be moving in as we go into the weekend, and as it does so, it will bring its nice drying air with it. So not necessarily for today, but definitely as we go to tonight. We're going to go to a mostly cloudy sky to take us through tonight into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow we're looking at a lot of clouds that will be with us through the day. For the most part, Saturday will be dry. There is a slight chance we could pick up a little pop-up shower in the afternoon, but that should be about it. And even that, the chance of that is actually very slight. High pressure resumes full control as we go into Sunday, and that's going to give us a lot of sunshine. With the exception of the early morning hours, we'll likely lead off early Sunday with some patchy fog. It may even be locally dense, but we should clear to mostly sunny as we go through the morning hours. So just to recap for today, we're looking at a lot of clouds, scattered showers through 10. After that, cloudy to mostly cloudy with a slight chance of showers to finish the daylight hours today. So your 7-day forecast has really mainly a dry weekend. Sunday's the better of the 2 weekend days as high pressure will be firmly in control. And that'll kick off a nice little trend that should take us right on into the middle of next week. Frank?
All right, Kelly, it's 5:48 in the morning now. If you haven't seen this video yet, stay tuned. It's really cool. A beluga whale at the Mystic Aquarium with the sense of humor. And coming up in Flashback, a report about tax reform that happens to include what may be the last time NBC 10 viewers saw a Providence landmark before it was lost to fire. Right now, though, here's the question we posted on the NBC 10 Facebook page this morning. We reported on this item earlier. And if you haven't seen the story, we'll bring it to you again a little later in the show. Some high school athletes in Rhode Island are going to have to pay a lot more for insurance this year, some as much as $200. Our question is, do you think this is necessary? Should the school district pay for the insurance instead? Let us know how you feel about this. Facebook.com/NBC10.
Plan your day with Storm Team 10. Weather coverage you trust, on air and weekday mornings on 94 WJAR.
8 minutes to 6 now here on the Sunrise Show. Molly.
Hey, good morning. Mountain biker Cam Zink is known for going big, but last night he went for a big Guinness World Record on live TV. The 28-year-old attempted to land a Guinness World Record for the longest dirt-to-dirt mountain bike backflip at Mammoth Mountain Canyon's Lodge using a set of P designed. There he goes. Nailed it. He hit speeds of up to 45 miles an hour before launching off a 15-foot high kicker, soaring 100 feet in the air and landing on a 25-foot high run out. Amazing. His certified world record distance was exactly 100 feet, 3 inches. His 10-month-old daughter and fiance were there to greet him when he landed. According to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Americans are taking fewer, shorter vacations, and about 40% of Americans are not using all of their vacation time. 9 million Americans took a week off in July of 1976, but July of this year, only 7 million did. It's still up for debate as to why Americans don't use all of their vacation. They say their bosses are supportive and that scheduling got in the way. Others say they are just stockpiling for some future trip. All right, you have to see this video. It's pretty cute. It happened at Mystic Aquarium. A beluga whale named Juno comes face to face with some kids, and it was all caught on camera. Juno appears to have quite the sense of humor. You can see him pressing his head against the glass tank and getting down on the kids' level, opening his mouth, which sends the kids running from the glass and laughing. The chief marine biologist at Mystic Aquarium says Juno is actually playing peekaboo. Mystic is home of the largest outdoor beluga whale exhibit in the U.S. Frank?
How about that, huh? All right. Ever notice how politicians seem to often try to tell us that taxes are good for us? One blatant example of that came during tax reform in 1986, which was supposed to be so good for us, even though it obviously was not for many. Here's Flashback from 28 years ago today, August 22nd, 1986.
You're looking at one result of tax reform. It's no coincidence that a 1981 tax law giving real estate investors a generous depreciation allowance prodded development. Capital Center is concrete proof of just how powerful a paper change can be. Tax attorney Peter Olson.
The city has, I think, made tremendous strides in the last few years. And I see a lot of things in this bill, if they were in the law in 1981, would have prevented this kind of economic development.
Olson says commercial real estate is taking, in his words, a big hit because of tax reform. Until now, real estate syndicates paid for a lot of construction by selling partnerships to investors who are looking for tax shelters. Now, with those shelters gone, developers are having to go it alone, and many won't because they simply can't. Condos and apartment units are at risk also. People who used those investments to take a loss can't anymore, so they'll back fewer projects and look for higher rents on existing units as investors try to compensate for those lost tax write-offs. Larry Estepa, Newswatch 10, Providence.
The tax laws have changed numerous times since then, of course. Perhaps the most notable part of that story was right in the middle, the shot of the old outlet department store on Waybosset Street in the old downtown Providence. The store had gone out of business 4 years earlier and was vacant 28 years ago today. That shot was probably the last one WJAR TV viewers ever saw of the building still intact. It burned to the ground 2 months later on October the 16th. Maybe you also noticed the opening shot from the elevator at the Biltmore Hotel going up, facing the State House. That's what the area looked like before all the Capitol Center development, which got underway in the 80s. And of course, now it's all different. The parking lot's gone. The train tracks are in different places. It's quite a change. By the way, that reporter, Larry Estepa, is now based in the Atlanta area. It's 5:56 in the morning now, Friday morning, August 22nd. We're back in a moment with more of today's news, including this Market Basket supermarket chain. Looks like a deal for a purchase might be delayed once again.